Hey guys, I'm here with another video. Today I'm at the park. It's me and my friend Helen. We're staying safe, of course, with our masks. And we're gonna do a little workout, and then we're gonna talk about the math of the workout. And of course, how can we forget, we've got Sandy here too. He's gonna work out with us also. Let's see how that goes. Here's a picture of me and Helen from a while ago. All right, so Helen and I are both gonna go on a bit of a run, a really short one, and we're gonna use this watch to help us figure out the distance and the time of the runs, and then we're gonna compare our speeds. This picture of the watch shows how far Helen ran and how long it took her to do that. All right, now I'm gonna do the same run essentially that Helen just did, and then we'll compare. Same thing here. This shows how long it took me to run. Hello from the future / the past. I'm going to show you about the calculations that we're doing, and hope you enjoy my candy cane and gingerbread socks. I should say before we get started in on the math that all these are kind of a little bit of estimations, because Helen and I might have messed up the counting of our jumping jacks, or we might have pressed the button on the watch at the wrong moment, or the watch might have recorded something wrong. So none of these numbers are super duper accurate, but they're just basically our best guesses. So when Helen and I were running, we both ran 0.1 miles and really 0.10 miles as the watch recorded. My time was 45.90 seconds, and Helen's time was 46.17 seconds. So what I did first to find the speed in miles per hour is I converted all these speeds into all these times into hours. So we start in seconds. So we have to basically divide by 3,600 to get the number of hours. So you can see the number of hours for each of us here. And then finally, to get the speed, we have to divide the number of miles by number of hours to get miles per hour. And then in my case, that ends up being 7.84 miles per hour. And for Helen, that's 7.80 miles per hour. So you can see I ran just a tiny bit faster. Okay, next up is jumping jacks. So Helen and I are each gonna have 30 seconds to do as many jumping jacks as we can. And then we're gonna find out what our speed of jumping jacks is. Within the 30 seconds, I was able to do 42 jumping jacks, and Helen did 40 jumping jacks. So since we have those two numbers, we can come up with a ratio of jumping jacks per second of 42 out of 30 for me and 40 out of 30 for Helen. Now, what I wanted instead was the number of jumping jacks per minute. And so to do that, first I found the number of jumping jacks in 60 seconds, which for me here is 84, and for Helen is 80. 60 seconds is equivalent to a minute, so we can say that I had a rate of 84 jumping jacks per minute, and Helen had a rate of 80 jumping jacks per minute. Okay, next up, we're gonna do the same thing that we did with jumping jacks, but for push-ups. So we're gonna see how many push-ups we can do in 30 seconds. Push-ups is where it gets really embarrassing for me. But that's okay. I'm still working. It's totally fine. I was able to do 9 push-ups in 30 seconds, and Helen was able to do 19 push-ups in 30 seconds. Now we can take that same logic that we used for jumping jacks and apply that to push-ups. So if we use that logic, I was able to do 18 push-ups per minute, and Helen was able to do 38 push-ups per minute, or at least those are the rates at which we were able to do push-ups. Okay, next up, Helen and I are going to do some lunges, and we're going to count the distance that we lunge for and the number of lunges we do, and then we'll be able to figure out the average distance per lunge for each person. So the math for the lunges is a little bit, it's a little bit improvised, but Helen and I each lunged for approximately 0.005 miles. We're not super duper sure about those measurements. But what I want is the length of a lunge in feet. And so to convert this number of miles into number of feet, I have to use the conversion that I know, that a mile is equal to 5,280 feet. So what I have to do is multiply this number, 0.005, by 5280, and I get 26.4 feet for both of us. That's how far we lunged. Now, to get that distance, I did 10 lunges, and Helen did 11 lunges. And so for me, that ends in a 2.64 feet per lunge, and for Helen, that's 2.4 feet per lunge. Now, I got that number from just doing the number of feet divided by the number of lunges. Now, the one thing I will say is we don't typically measure feet using decimals. We usually measure things in feet and inches. So that required a little bit of extra calculation, but we come up with 2 feet 8 inches approximately for me, and about 2 feet 5 inches for Helen. So really those are actually very close together.
All right, last exercise of the day is going to be the dog walk. So Helen and I are each going to speed walk, do the same distance that we did running before, and we're each going to carry Sandy with us. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if we make it the whole way, and then of course we'll do the timer and we'll see who did it faster.
Of course, the final sport in our weird, unconventional pentathlon is dog walking, or walking while holding a dog. So we only managed to go 0.04 miles holding Sandy, and it took me 46 seconds, and it took Helen 53 seconds. So again, I'm going to do what I did a little bit earlier with the running, and convert those times in seconds to hours. So here, this turns out to be 0.013 hours for me and 0.015 hours for Helen. Now we have to use the same technique that we used earlier to find miles per hour, divide number of miles by number of hours, and we end up with a speed of 3.08 miles per hour for me and 2.67 miles per hour for Helen.
All right, we didn't make it as far as the tent. That's okay. We still got some good data, and now we're just gonna be running around with Sandy, run around the park, have some fun with him, do some playing. It's always good. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.